again, I was sort of blown away by Kevin Brady on Friday to me on this program, refusing to give any sort of vote of confidence to Liz Cheney under any circumstances at all. And again, Kevin Brady is not Gosar, not Gohmert. He's not any of those guys. This is a leadership player. You're a committee chair, or you once were. You're a part of the club. And when he did that, what does that tell you? Does this mean rank and file, they don't like being asked about Liz Cheney anymore? Is that what this is about when they go home? What is it? How do you lose Kevin Brady?
I think that's a big part of it. I mean, let's start with some of the facts. Like, President Trump lost the election. No one should be afraid to say that. The insane conspiracy theories that he promulgated after that led to Republicans losing 2 Senate runoffs in Georgia and the Senate majority with them. Those were mistakes that also led to lies, that also led to, in part, the assault on the Capitol on January 6th. No one should have any problem saying those things as facts. At the same time, Republicans are out of power right now. We would not be looking at an agenda of trillions of dollars in spending, job-killing tax hikes, if Republicans had a seat at the table. The next chance to get a seat at the table is by winning the House in 2022. Winning the House majority is the only way to get Republicans back in the conversation, back in power in Washington. And so that's kind of the entire focus of the House Republican team. And I think a lot of them are sick of relitigating the events of January 6th, and they really just want to move on. And Cheney's making that impossible.
All right, I understand the point of view you're coming from, but Michael, what you're saying is that the person with whom the person whose fault it is that Republicans don't have this seat at the table is the person that the party needs to get said seat at the table. Do you realize how illogical and ridiculous that does? I know you're probably right politically, but this is absurd on its face. Donald Trump is the reason why Republicans don't have any seat at the table. His inability to be a leader, his inability to face the truth, his narcissism, you name it. And you're rallying around him to get there?
I'm saying, as illogical as it is, this is life in the Trump era, and we are not yet out of the Trump era. Life in the Trump era is that a Republican majority requires Trump plus. The new voters that the president has brought to the party, the people who are intensely loyal to him, as well as some of those suburban voters and others who were repelled by him. You have to bring the whole big tent together to accomplish the goal.
And apparently, Leanne, the only way to do that is to accept the lie.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.